Hi everyone, this is a pretty exciting video because it is in partnership with e.l.f. Cosmetics. This isn't a sponsored video, they're not paying me, but they did provide me with the products to use in today's video, along with the opportunity to work with a company called Magic Links. Magic Links allows influencers to monetize their videos through affiliate links, which is super amazing. And having another stream of income through affiliate links is just a small other way to have another source of support. So while you shop through the links on this video, they will be affiliate links. I just need to let you guys know that. And I do earn a small percentage of whatever you guys decide to pick up through those links. Magic Links does have a referral program as well. So if you are an influencer, whether that's on Instagram or YouTube, whichever, you can monetize your links through Magic Links. But I am seriously so excited for today's video because my last full face of e.l.f. video that I did back in October was perfect. Like, everything in that video worked out so well. I watched that video back this morning and still I look at everything that I wore in that video and I'm like, oh my goodness, that is an amazing full face. To start out, I am going to be using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. This primer is so popular. It's gotta be like one of Ulta's bestsellers, and if you guys didn't know this about me, I do work at Ulta. But when we were sold out of this primer due to just like everybody wanting it, people would come in all the time asking if we had it back in stock. For my foundation, I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation, and I picked up the shade Linen. In my full face of e.l.f. from October, I used the shade Sand, which Sand is usually a shade that would work for me, but that particular shade was definitely too light. However, after my whole face was done and I had like my bronzer on, my powders on, the shade match ended up not looking too bad, but I definitely wanted to pick up something that matched me a little bit better, and Linen definitely does match me a little better. I do think I still could have gone a little bit darker, but I do know that once everything is on, it will look fine and normal. But this is such a nice full coverage foundation from the drugstore. That is just one thing about e.l.f. is I think that in terms of drugstore makeup, they do everything so well. And if you wanted to see more of their products kind of in action, I will link my original full face of e.l.f. down below. But I feel even their packaging is something to note of like quality. This foundation has a pump. Everything feels so high quality. I love that their signature shade is black. I think it ends up looking so chic. For my concealer, I'm going to go in with the 16-Hour Camo Concealer in the shade Medium Beige. I think the coverage, finish, and feel of the concealer is really nice. I have tried the hydrating concealer and I didn't like it quite as much as this one. I think this one is just a lot smoother, and I think you can get a little bit more of like a dewy finish with it if you use a damp sponge to blend it out. But yeah, the hydrating one just didn't work for me. I definitely prefer this one, the regular Camo Concealer, but they do have that hydrating concealer as an option and a lot of people do really love it. That is something so great about e.l.f. is their variety within the brand as well. They're an affordable brand that kind of has something for everyone, and I feel anybody can find a product that works for them within the line, whether they're looking for natural products or glam products. Plus, they are vegan and cruelty-free, which means a lot of different people, depending on your lifestyle, can enjoy these very affordable products. To set my skin, I'm going to be going in with the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. I did get this in the shade Medium. From my original full face of e.l.f. makeup, I was using the HD setting powder, but in the Luminance one, and I really liked that one. I wasn't sure why they came out with this Halo Glow powder. Maybe they just wanted to do a little bit of like rebranding on the powder, but I know that the HD one didn't come in color variety, but this one does. The medium kind of looks like it is a little dark, but it goes on pretty translucent, and I do think the combination of the Halo Glow and the matte foundation work really well. I moved you guys in closer because I'm going to start doing my brows and my eyes. I have the e.l.f. brow pencil, and this is in the shade Deep Brown. I did notice that on me personally, this brow product ends up kind of coming off more as a soft black. It's a little bit more cool tone than I typically would go for, but it's definitely still usable. I don't think it looks like weird or anything. And I like that even though this brow product is really cheap, I find it to be still quite waxy and buildable. I think when you get into cheap brow pencils and brow products, they can be really soft and way too pigmented and just not usable, but this has a little bit of like waxiness to it where you definitely need to build it up, but that's preferred in a brow product. So you can go in with like a light hand and build it up and not get like Sharpie brows. So in terms of like an affordable brow pencil, which this definitely is, it's only $2. This is really nice. I am taking my camo concealer and I'm sculpting my brows out. When I was rewatching my old e.l.f. video, my brows appeared to have been freshly done and I was pretty jealous of her. I was pretty jealous of past me. She didn't realize how lucky she was. And her nails were done. Like, she had just gotten her nails done that morning and probably her brows done that morning, and I was just jealous of her. I do have the e.l.f. Wow Brow in the shades Deep Brown and Brunette, and I think I'm going to go in with the shade Brunette, even though by itself I typically use Deep Brown, but to kind of warm up these brows, I am going to go in with Brunette. Because I want, yeah, that definitely worked. I wanted to add some warmth back into the brows, but I love the Wow Brow. I think it's a really great brow gel and is really very nice on its own as well. It is also one of those brow products that absolutely will keep your brows in place, and it has like these little fibers in it that I've noticed that will add thickness to your brows, which I definitely need, especially if I'm just going to be using a brow gel on its own. So I'm sure you guys were hoping that I picked these up. These are the e.l.f. Bite Size eyeshadows. This is the one in Cream and Sugar. This is Berry Bad. This one is Pumpkin Pie. And this last one is Carnival Candy. These small little e.l.f. palettes will only cost you $3, which is crazy. And I was playing with these last night on my live stream, and the quality is amazing. I also think e.l.f. did an amazing job with the ratio of mattes and shimmers. They are either 50-50 or there are more matte shades than shimmer shades, which I think was great on their part, considering you can do so much more with a matte shade than you can with a shimmery shade. I am going to use 2 of them in today's video because in the Cream and Sugar palette, the deeper brown is a little bit too cool tone for my complexion and my like undertones. I usually go with a warmer tone, but I love the shimmery shades that they have in this Cream and Sugar palette. And then in the Pumpkin Pie palette, I love this matte shade. So I'm going to dip into a couple of them, but before I start doing that, I am going to be using the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer. This is a newer product to e.l.f.'s line, I believe. And first impression of this eye primer, I noticed that it was a little dry. I don't know if you noticed me like actually really digging into the product, but a little bit goes a long way. And it's just tacky enough where it's going to grip eyeshadow, but it's dry enough where it's not going to have the eyeshadow slip around your eye or mix with the eyeshadow in a weird way. I also like the color of this one a lot. This is in the shade Cream. They do have a bunch of different varieties of colors, but I could definitely see this being an eye primer that I actually use. I'm excited to see how it helps my eyeshadow wear throughout the day. But for starters, I'm going to go in with the Pumpkin Pie eyeshadow palette and go in with this matte shade right here. You guys are going to be amazed to see how soft and creamy and blendable these eyeshadows are. I feel I've only, yeah, that's amazing for a $3 eyeshadow palette. I have heard nothing but good things about these, and I'm so excited to finally be able to own them and play with them. I also think that if you find your perfect color story in one of these, I would totally go ahead and pick that up because this is a great little palette to travel with, or just keep in your little makeup bag. Especially if this cool tone brown works for you, you could mix that shade and that one together to create a lighter brown and then use that one as an eyeliner. And then obviously these you would get tons of use out of. Use this as a highlighter. That is one thing I love about powder products, is get creative with them. Use them on different parts of your face. That blended perfectly, and especially over top of that primer, there was absolutely no skipping. I think that primer is just a really nice base for eyeshadows. I think sometimes when a primer base is a little bit too sticky, it can kind of bunch up the cream shadow and be a little bit more challenging to work with, but that was amazing. On a smaller brush, because I do want to deepen up my crease a little bit, I am going to take the deep shade but mix it in with this shade that we just used, and I'm taking it on a smaller brush, and I do just want to focus it on that outer corner. This is basically a look that I do all the time, really not seeing anything super new here. These just look so smooth and soft and beautiful. I am shocked that these are $3. From the Cream and Sugar palette, I am going in with this shade right here, but I actually think I'm gonna mix the two. I'm gonna mix these two together. I love mixing my shades together. I feel like people should mix things more often to optimize the usage. Oh my word. This is so pretty. Oh my goodness, this is insane. I love it. I'm going to dip my brush back into the matte shade that I used very first, and I'm going to make sure that my crease is free of any shimmer and just blend things back out. I am going to take that dark shade from the Cream and Sugar palette, and I'm taking it on a liner brush, and I am just going to stamp my lash line with it. I really love doing this with eyeshadows. If you guys watch my videos regularly, you guys know that. But I love stamping darker eyeshadow along my lash line because I feel like it defines the area while still keeping things really soft. Like, that's kind of not detectable, but it definitely makes enough of a difference. I did have a little bit of fallout with the shimmery shade. Okay, it's coming off pretty easily. It's a good thing I powdered my skin before I did my eyeshadow though, because it just is wiping away pretty easily. But it was only like a little bit of fallout, so I'm not really concerned about that at all. So e.l.f. now has these beautiful liquid eyeshadows. They have a really intense glitter and shimmer to them. Definitely a very glam product. I have the shades Copper Pop and I have Flirty Birdie. I feel Flirty Birdie just goes better with my eye look today. So I am going to be applying Flirty Birdie to my eyelid. I did try these out last night. They are so cute. Yeah, that's so pretty. I'm kind of just applying it on the lid, but like the inner portion of my lid. I'm keeping that outer corner kind of free of the product. And then I'm taking my eyeshadow brush and I am blending out that glitter to make sure everything looks nice and even, which everything does. Everything is looking good. I really love the subtle way of incorporating glitter like this. I feel this is a really easy way for someone to incorporate glitter into their eye look, and especially without it being messy and getting everywhere. Like, I had no fallout with that application. So unlike my last e.l.f. video, I do have a mascara this time. This is the e.l.f. Keep Your Curl mascara. I went ahead and picked out the mascara with the best reviews. I did try it last night and I wasn't unimpressed with it, but I wasn't that impressed with it. but my eye look last night was really, really bold. I did a really, really thick blue liner. I'll insert a picture of the look that I did. It was like gorgeous. It was using all e.l.f. products, but I went in with like this blue and used it as a liner, and this mascara just didn't do enough for my lashes in that look. But it's not looking too bad here. I think because, you know, you can definitely see my lashes better now anyway because the eyeshadow is much brighter. With yesterday's look in my live, I just really wasn't able to tell if this mascara was doing anything. But that actually looks, that doesn't look half bad. That looks really cute. I feel it's doing a nice job coating all my lashes, lifting them, thickening them. I don't know. I would say it's adding length. I'm going to take the matte shade from the Pumpkin Pie palette, and I'm running that shade along my lower lash line. And then for my inner corner highlight, I'm going to take that bright shade from the Cream and Sugar palette, and I'm going to pop it in my inner corner. For my bronzer, I did pick up the e.l.f. bronzer in the shade Warm, and I did apply it last night. I noticed it was still fairly light, but I think it did deposit a like nice amount of color. Oh no. Oh no, 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 that looks perfect. Oh. Oh wow. That's a beautiful bronzer. Oh, and I love the glow. I am not a matte bronzer girl. I understand people might like a matte bronzer. Me personally, I just like the glow, especially for the summertime. This is a beautiful, beautiful bronzer. Oh my goodness. Bronzer is so cute too. I could totally see someone using this as their eyeshadow as well, and then dipping into like this shade right here and doing a highlighting moment with it. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna do it right now. I feel like this is going to give me kind of that soft glow highlight. Come on. I'm pretty sure this is only like $3 or $4 too. In my last e.l.f. video, I used this beautiful blush, and this is in the shade Always Rosy. It is a matte shade, and I feel like with my look going on right now and the beautiful glow on my cheeks, I would love to put this on my skin right now. I feel like it would look so beautiful, but e.l.f. has these new stunning blushes. These blushes are shimmery, they are gorgeous, they run a little deeper, and they, oh man, that's insane how utterly gorgeous these are. I totally feel like you could skip out on wearing a highlighter if you go for these blushes. This top one is in the shade Glowy Rose, and then the bottom one is in the shade Radiant Peach. I'm gonna go with Glowing Rose today. Going to tap off as much as possible because when I tried these last night, they were really, really pigmented. So going in with a light hand. I love the combination of glowy products over top of a matte foundation. I think it's a really nice combo, and it especially is nice for those of you with oily skin who might like to glow still. I do want to spritz my face with the e.l.f. Dewy Setting Mist. This setting spray does smell like coconuts, which I've had some pretty undesirable reactions from coconut ingredients in drugstore products. But I've used this setting spray several times and I've never noticed any issues with it before. So before I move on, I do want to mention that I did pick up the e.l.f. Monochromatic Multi stick. Obviously, I already have my cheek products on right now. I didn't have intentions of using these in today's video, but be on the lookout for either an IGTV or just in another YouTube video where I use these. I kind of want to do a full face of e.l.f. but natural edition. So lastly is lips. I do want to mention the beautiful e.l.f. lip plumping gloss, and this is in the shade Mocha Twist. If you want to see this in action, I do wear it in my last full face of e.l.f. video, and it's beautiful. It is such a nice shade and texture and just a nice gloss overall. I highly, highly recommend it. But for today's video, I do have a couple of lip products to share with you guys today. I have two of the Seriously Satin lipsticks, one in the shade Nectar and the other one in the shade Cocoa. One of the shades that I really wanted was sold out, and if you look on the website, I'm sure you could figure out which shade that was. I don't remember the name of it. But I picked up these two shades, wanting to mix them to kind of create the shade that I ultimately wish I owned. And I did sort of do that in my live stream. It came out a little bit more red than I would have wanted, but I'm going to go ahead and swatch them both on my lips. This is the shade Cocoa. So this is what Cocoa looks like. It's a really very deep brown red. I think it's really flattering, and I think it definitely would look good more in like the fall time. It's definitely not giving me summer vibes. But one thing I want to note about these lipsticks is there isn't any scent to them, which is freaking phenomenal. I remember back in the day, the smell of e.l.f. lipsticks was really like that very like sweet plasticky scent, and they don't have their fragrance in their lipsticks anymore, which really makes me want to applaud them, because unnecessary fragrance and just like gross smelling lipsticks is such a turn off. These are also really comfortable. They're not too creamy and they're not too drying, which makes for a really easy seamless application, and as you can see, they are beautifully pigmented on the lips. Next, I'm going to apply Nectar on my lips. Nectar is a lot more wearable, a lot more summery. I'm glad it's deep enough for my skin tone. It's definitely not a pinky brown nude, it's more peachy, but I think it's really cute and still quite flattering. And then lastly, I picked up the lip lacquer in the shade Moody, and this is the shade that I'm going to finish off the video in because I don't need to explain myself. This has a tiny bit of a scent, but it's really pleasant. I actually like the smell of it a lot. Here is a close-up of my skin in all of the e.l.f. products, a full face of e.l.f. I think everything looks so beautiful. I cannot believe that everything on my face right now is like under $10. It is insane to me how affordable e.l.f. is and how amazing their products perform. Everything feels really comfortable. Everything looks great in my opinion. I love the colors of everything. I think everything goes really well together. I'm really excited to see what you guys think of everything. I am going to do a wear test of everything. The time right now is 4:30, so I'll check back in later this evening and show you guys what my skin is looking like a bit later, and to show you guys how all of these products wear. I'll make note of any creasing of the eyeshadow, creasing of my foundation, where I've gotten oily. I'm not going to make note of my lips though. I don't expect lip products to stay at all. But yeah, I will check in a little bit later tonight and let you guys know how everything looks. Hi everyone, it is 10 p.m. now. It's actually 10:10, so it's been about 6 hours. I am going to take my makeup off and get into bed after this. But this is how everything is looking. I feel like everything is just as vibrant as it was earlier. It's just I am, you know, a bit more oily than before, but that is definitely a given considering I have oily skin. But my brows haven't faded, my blush hasn't faded, my foundation didn't fade anywhere. Even my eyeshadow, there's no creasing. I don't know whether that is the primer or the liquid shadow. Either way, that's pretty amazing. And there's absolutely no mascara flaking, which is so good. I feel like when you get into the cheaper mascaras, you do risk, or just any mascara really, there is some risk of it flaking, and you know you found a good one when it doesn't flake. And I don't feel like my lashes have fallen or anything. They've stayed pretty curled, which is good. I do notice a little bit of creasing underneath my eyes, but again, I kind of expect that at this point. And Smile line creasing isn't that bad. With any sort of creasing that I get, I always just blend it back into place and it's usually good to go, but for my check-ins I do like to leave it so you guys can kind of see what everything looks like completely untouched. And I did reapply my lip before I jumped back on camera. My lip did not look like this before, but that is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. A big thank you to e.l.f. Cosmetics for providing me with the products in today's video. Everything that I use down below will be linked, but remember they are affiliate links, so I will earn a little bit of a commission from any purchases you guys decide to place, but that is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you guys enjoyed. If you aren't already subscribed, definitely go ahead and do so, and hopefully I see you next time.